What's up guys, how's it going? It's John, Gamester81. Thank you for tuning in. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at a new system called the Super NT. This is basically an HD Super Nintendo clone. This is the top of the market, high-end quality stuff from right here, and it's by Analogue. I've done reviews over Analogue products before, including back in the day, their first system they released was the wooden consoleized MVS. That was actually literally made out of wood, super expensive, very, very high quality. Also, I did a review on the Analogue NT, which is their NES clone. That system's made out of aluminum or aluminium, however you want to say it, and that retails for $450 US. They're sold out right now. I'm not sure if they're planning on making more or not. They had a black version that goes for $500, and they even had a gold-plated version which sold for thousands of dollars. They only limited it to like 10. I did not get that one. So I did a video on that as well, and this is kind of the third system they've released for the Super Nintendo. This is an FPGA system. So what this isn't an emulator. This doesn't work in the same way as Retron 5, for example, where it dumps the ROM and kind of reads the ROM through the system. This reads it off the cart. There's some really cool things you can do with this system, and I'll show you. I'll do an unboxing. It comes in 4 different styles. It comes with your standard like purple and light purple color scheme like you would find on the original Super Nintendo in North America. It comes in Super Famicom colors as well, or Super Nintendo colors in PAL regions, with the color buttons, all that good stuff. It also came in black and a transparent one. So I'll show you what the transparent one looks like right here. You can kind of see it in my hands. Totally, you can see right through it. You can't even see the system. It's so super clear. No, I'm just playing with you guys. I'll do an unboxing here in a second. I kind of regret getting the transparent, and I'll explain a little why later in the video. I wish I got a different one, but maybe it might be a good thing because perhaps maybe not as many people got the transparent one. Who knows? But I don't plan on reselling it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's a moot point. This retails for $190 US. Now the controller doesn't come with a controller. This is what the box looks like. The controllers are by a company called 8BitDo, and those retail for $40 US, or wireless Bluetooth controllers, really high quality, but again, kind of pricey for controllers. So if you want the controller and the system, you're going to look at spending over $230 plus shipping. Now, it is compatible with normal Super Nintendo controllers. There are controller ports, which is great. So it is compatible with games like the Super Game Boy. It's compatible with Mario Paint, so you can use the mouse on any Nintendo accessory. It will not work with, for example, any shooter. So Super Scope 6 won't work, not because it won't work with the system, but basically it won't work with the TV. You need a standard television for those light gun games because HD TVs just don't work. It is HDMI, obviously. It plays in 1080, which is huge. This is, to my knowledge, the first 1080p Super Nintendo clone that hit the market. There have been others, HD Super Nintendo clones that have hit the market. I've done reviews on those. Those are 720p. This is 1080p, so a little higher quality. Again, this is kind of the top-notch system. So I'll do an unboxing, show you what the system looks like right now. Of course, I'll show you some gameplay and show you kind of the menu itself. At the very end of the video, I'm going to share with you my final thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and let's take a closer look. First thing I'm going to show you is the box. Pretty basic box, very similar to the Analogue NT box. It's a clamshell box. Just take off the lid like so, and you get the system, which is this right here. You get your AC adapter, which works on like a micro USB port in the back, like so, kind of like you get on like a smartphone, and a universal adapter, which is nice. So USB adapter, which is great. So it will work on all regions. So if you live in a PAL region, it will work. If you live in Japan, it will work, which is super awesome. I had to purchase the controller separately for $40 US, and this is by 8BitDo. I've done reviews on their products before, including their Bluetooth NES controllers. This is the controller I got to match this particular system. You can see it's pretty standard as far as size goes for the Super Nintendo. You have your buttons here. This got some plastic on the very top here. You can take that off, peel that off. It's very hard to see in this one. It's hard to see the A, B, X, Y buttons, but at this point I know what those are. You can see it's starting to light up. It does come with also another adapter here, micro USB adapter to plug it in, power it up. They claim that it has 20 hours of life on these controllers, which is super cool. You can see it lights up. This controller lights up as well when it powers on. I'll show you what that looks like later in the video. Super cool looking. I do appreciate that. And this has pretty good range. It's a Bluetooth, so it has really good range. It's very, very responsive, very well built for sure. One of the reasons I wanted to get the transparent systems is because one of my games I have is this SD to SNES flash card, and it's also transparent, so I think it like kind of looks cool when you plug it all together. It looks super cool. Everything's transparent. I think it's pretty badass. Here is a closer look at the system itself. You have your controller ports, which any Super Nintendo controller accessory will work with it. This is your reset button. This is your power button. Obviously your cartridge slot here. This is where it plugs into, and this is your HDMI out, and that's it. It's got a kind of a rubber bottom here so it doesn't slide, which is nice. Very high quality build. Here's an SD card slot. That's for firmware updates. And you can actually, can be jailbroken, I'm sure, because the Analogue NT got jailbroken. They were able to add other ROMs and games and systems to it. It's just a matter of time if it hasn't been done already. I'm sure it will. And yeah, it's got some good weight to it. You can kind of see the Analogue gold logo there. It's pretty sweet on the board. All right, let's power this on and take a close look at some gameplay. Oh, it also does come with this instruction manual here, pretty easy. Now for the basic instructions for the game, you have to go onto their website, Analogue's website, and see it. It does come with a game called Super Turrican Director Cut. So it's a ROM that's included. It also comes with Super Turrican 2, and it's by Factor 5. It's a game that was never initially released on the Super Nintendo. Super Turrican, when it actually came out for the Super Nintendo, was a 4 mbit game. Now this is the director's cut is 6 megabit, and so it's got new level, it's got new enemies, it's got updated graphics, some new music. Super cool. It's a great shooter. If you haven't played the Turrican series, I definitely recommend it. Factor 5 was a company that also came out with Super Indiana Jones, the adventure game for the Super Nintendo. They also did the Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Rogue Squadron trilogy for the GameCube, which I'm a huge fan of, and all that good stuff. So without any further ado, let's take a closer look at some gameplay and go from there. So you boot up the system, you get this Analogue logo, and you can go to, it basically shoots up to a menu, and you can either run cart, or there's two built-in games I mentioned before, Super Turrican Director's Cut and Super Turrican 2, and there's settings. So we'll go ahead and load Super Turrican Director's Cut. I'll show you that briefly. It takes a couple seconds to load. It's automatically built into the system, so every time you purchase this, it does come with these two games. And as I mentioned before, this is better than the original Super Turrican in the sense that it's got more memory and stuff. It's more powerful, more levels, enemies, updated graphics. Really fun shooter. If you haven't played the Turrican series, I definitely recommend it. The only thing I don't like about it is you can't shoot diagonally, which is a letdown. You can only shoot forward and backwards. But go and hit select and down as you're mapping, and goes to this menu, pop-down menu. Go to settings. You can change your resolution, your screen size. You go 480, 720, or 1080. Now, it won't let me change outside of 1080. I guess I don't know why you'd want to scale it down. You go to 1:1 ratio. You can change a different screen size. 4:3 by 16:9, 4:3 by 16:10. You can change the height, the way you can kind of mess around. It kind of looks stretched when it gets too big. I prefer the 1:1 ratio personally. There's scalers, so you can kind of, just like you can with like the Retron 5, there's scalers. So a lot of these are subtle, but you can definitely see the difference when you hit X-ray. You can see right there, just, I don't know why you'd want to play it like that, but scale three times is probably the most smooth, but it's almost like too smooth. You can kind of see the difference there with the scaling. A lot of different upgrades in this game, power upgrades and weapon upgrades, which is cool. Go back to the menu. You can disable interpolation. There's also scan lines. You have normal scan lines, hybrid scan lines. This is what normal scan line looks like. The Super Nintendo Mini, for example, will do scan lines, but you can do so much more with these scan line options here on the Super NT. You can kind of see it basically look like it's playing on an old school monitor, like you play on a classic TV. So for those who prefer that look, that's pretty cool. There's other scan lines. Here's hybrid scan lines. This is they're a little more, I guess, smaller, a little tighter. Still looks very, very cool. Watch out for the wind in this game. And you have a gamma boost, which does brighten up a little bit. Actually makes it look really cool. And you can change the scan line depth, so you can make them wider or skinnier. A lot of options here with the different scan lines you can do, which is not an option you normally do on normal Super Nintendo clone. You go to advanced mode, you can crop it, you can buffer mode, fully buffed, single buffer, all very subtle things. Go back to advanced mode. You can kind of see subtle things that this buffer does, and kind of explains you what it does. Extra features, 64 sprite tiles, mode 5 and 6, interlace disabled. Normal stuff like this you wouldn't be able to do on a normal Super Nintendo clone. You can crop it, so you can make it, shorter on one side or taller or longer. I'm not sure why you'd want to crop it, but you have the ability to do that. Scalars again. You can change the width, so you can make it. You can even change how wide it is. Turn the gamma boost, so you can see how gamma boost really brightens it up, which makes it pop, which is awesome. Definitely makes it brighter. You go to audio, and it plays, in 16-bit, which is cool. But the audio, it sounds really, really good. I can tell you. You can swap left and right. You can control the volume from the cartridge here, audio as well. Didn't notice a huge difference on that, to be honest. You can change the controls and hotkeys, so your mapping. You can do this is where you change your PAL settings. You can do PAL or NTSC. One thing I was not expecting was the color. You can actually change the standby color for the system, which is cool. There's different options here. You can see the LED actually changes colors based on what setting you do. Very cool feature. I was not expecting that. Kind of a nice little bonus for the system. Now let's compare the actual visuals between the Super NT and a standard Super Nintendo. I'm going to show you the difference between the HD and the standard. We're going to check out one of my favorite games for the Super Nintendo. It's Sunset Riders by Konami. One of my favorite arcade shooters of all time. It's awesome. Let's take a closer look. Here's a game I'm actually working on with Collector Vision Games, company I'm a part of, and this is called Justice Beaver, the Great Timber Tantrum, and this is still in beta mode, but we've been working on this game for some time, and we're getting closer to coming out. Should be coming out later this year. I just want to kind of show you, this is playing on the Super NT, and just show you how it looks visually on the Super NT. So in conclusion, what do I think about the Super NT? Overall, I think I appreciate that the price is lower than the previous two systems. Now, this is made out of plastic, not aluminum or wood or any other elements. I was thinking soon they're going to come out with a system made out of rubber or something crazy. So it's plastic, so it's less expensive to produce, causing it to be less expensive to purchase, of course. It's less than half the cost of the Analogue NT, the Nintendo counterpart, and about a third the cost of the Neo Geo NVS console-ized. So I can definitely appreciate that. The Analogue, I think, probably heard some feedback and made this. I'm not sure how many of these they're planning on doing of each color. Kind of cool that they did 4 different color palettes. This right here, as I mentioned before, it's not completely transparent. It's got kind of a, I don't know, like a finish on it that you can't totally see right through it. In the pictures online, it appears to be more transparent than it actually is. Overall build quality, it's solid. I give it an A+ as far as build quality. This is like the Analogue systems to me are like the Porsche or like the Mercedes of consoles. Sure, there are other clones out there. You can get the Retron 5, you can get some other ones that are a lot less expensive. You can do more things as far as variety goes. But as far as if you're looking for hardcore, if you're a hardcore gamer like I am and you appreciate the old school stuff, this is something to definitely look into purchasing. And overall, I think it's a great product. I really don't have any major complaints. I like the fact that there's an SD card slot you can put there for firmware updates. Now, the original Analogue NT, they got jailbroken, which means that they were able to add more systems to that one. So, for example, on the Analogue NT, through ROMs and stuff, I can play ColecoVision games, I can play original Game Boy games, I can play a whole bunch of other classic consoles on that through the firmware updates, which is sweet. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before someone does that to the Super NT, if it hasn't been done already. So it's a huge plus. So basically you can play more than just Super Nintendo games on this. I love the fact that you can also play Super Famicom games, you can play PAL games on here. Over 2,200 Super Nintendo games in total are compatible with this. I haven't seen any compatible issues. I've tested a lot of my games. I haven't seen any issues with it compatibility-wise. Overall, definitely recommend it. Again, you're going to pay more than you would a typical clone, but you pay what you get in this case, and I definitely recommend the Super NT. You know, I do regret not getting a different color. I wish I got like the more standard Nintendo looking Super Nintendo color scheme with the purple, but it's all good. I'm still happy with my purchase. Thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe. That really means a lot. Leave a comment below. We'll see you guys soon. Take care, and of course, game on.